Good morning vlog. It's 9 AM on a Wednesday and I have a few calls today. So, in the next 2 minutes, I'm starting a call with some people from Adobe to discuss their app Premiere Clip, which I use to edit my vlogs with. I use it every day and I have some suggestions for them, and I'm looking forward to hearing sort of the direction of the program and just discussing things with them, which is really exciting. And that's one of the things I love about Adobe, and one of my favorite things about the sponsorship relationship we have set up is that I was able to just sort of message a few people and say, hey, can you pass me on to people who produce this app, or, you know, who like animate CC, for example. I'm in contact with the guy who sort of develops that program, and in their latest update, one of the major suggestions I was asking for is in there, you know, so it's pretty amazing how accessible they've made themselves. So I'm really happy about that. So I'm going to be having that Skype call, conference call, one of the two, with Adobe this morning. And then today I'm going to be working on the tail teller, as I did yesterday, really fine tuning and tweaking, doing the final animation touch-ups. And then later this evening, I'm actually doing a Skype call with Dominic, who, as some of you may have mentioned, I featured in a vlog a while ago, who started a YouTube channel. Really nice kid, and I look forward to seeing him in London when I go there too. So yeah, that's the agenda for today. So I just finished my call. That went really well. I went overtime and I have a lot to do. It went for like an hour and a half, but in the call, the wonderful woman from Adobe I spoke to said that that was one of the best customer calls that she's had. So that's really good feedback. I really felt listened to. It's so exciting because I use Premiere Clip every day in editing my vlog, and to sort of see the direction they were thinking of going in, but feel so heard in my impressions on that, and to sort of say what I think would even be better, or how that would be refined in a way that would add most value to me, and really see them listening and be really excited about the feedback, was just such a cool experience. So, and they want to sort of work with me in the future on this sort of thing and iterations on the program. So that's really exciting. So any of you who are starting to use Premiere Clip and editing video with it and stuff, like, first of all, if you're not and you're thinking of vlogging and doing stuff like this, I highly recommend it because it really streamlines the workflow. But the other thing too is, if you guys use it and get feedback to me, then there's a direct route for me and my feedback and your feedback to get to the people who make the app. So that's one of the coolest things about this sponsorship relationship with Adobe and my community and you guys. So yeah, so that went really well. I've got so much work to do, man. Like, I'm gonna get to work, and it's hard to, like, I've got a bit of a buzz from that call. It was really cool, but yeah, now I gotta knuckle down and do some animation. Okay, so it's 2:30 PM. I've been working on the tail teller, and the amazing news is I have finished all of the core animation. So all that I have to do left is go through and do all the final last bits for every scene. And this includes things like video overlays, like weather, wind, animating the skies, just having clouds move slightly, just like really bringing the world to life, but I've done everything else. So that's really exciting. I'm not going to work on it anymore today because I've finished all of the core animation. I'm actually going to start using all the footage and rendering the reference resources I'd planned to put together. Basically, Greg is the one doing the environment and background art. I am the one doing the animation and character animation. We have recorded and screen captured the entire creation process. So I can go to Act 2, Scene 3, and in real time play through the entire creation process of this scene. And you can see the references I followed, you can see how long the scenes took and how it was all put together. And same goes with Greg for the backgrounds. I can go to background 15 and click on one of these and skip ahead, and you can see the whole process of Greg putting all of that together. Skip into background 12 in the middle somewhere, and you can sort of see step by step how he's put the entire environment scene together. So just for funsies, I've actually copied all of the files from all of our recordings into one folder here. As you can see, there's quite a lot, simply because I am curious as to how long in duration we have recorded. There are little bits here and there that we may have missed, but we've like 95 to 98% recorded the entire process. So that is 711 hours and 56 minutes. So almost 712 hours of screen captured animation and environment design time. That is crazy, and it's also not keeping in mind the fact that I haven't screen captured the earlier process of creating concept stuff, or neither has Greg, and I've only screen captured the character animation. So where I've animated scenes and environment stuff, I haven't recorded that. So I would say at this point, there would be very much a likelihood that we have close to 1,000 hours having gone into this production, including things like music and conceptualization and writing and all of that. So, wow, that is pretty crazy. And we're nearly finished. My God, I am so tired. I'm also procrastinating. It's 3 p.m. and I have to start editing 712 hours of video. What is wrong with me? This is our Mrs. Jazza cameo. That's her back, hiding from the camera. We're about to do a Skype call with Dominic, who I mentioned and highlighted a couple of vlogs ago, a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, no, it'll be good to chat to him, and we're going to sort of organise how we're going to meet up when we're in London. But yeah, it'll be good to meet him and say hi and sort all that out.
I actually think that I'm watching your channel from the beginning, because I was watching your first videos.
Wow.
Even when you hadn't had your studio, where even when you had
a big beard, yeah, and long hair, and I spoke very slow. I was like,
that's before we were married.
Yeah,
Dominic.
that was
a long time.
Very different time.
Even when I was at the hospital, I was, because there wasn't any internet, so I was downloading your tutorials and just watch it while I didn't have the internet, so I was learning and drawing in the hospital. So yeah.
That's awesome.
It was amazing.
Well, that's amazing to me, because I can't tell you how much I appreciate not only your support, but how you have found something valuable in what I'm making. Like it's just been so touching, and I really appreciate that. Well, that about wraps up today. It's 5:30 p.m. and I have a lot of video editing to do tomorrow, because I'm going to try and put all this stuff together, and I have a little special guest, because I'm going to be doing some Skype remote recording with a very talented violinist friend of mine, which I'm really looking forward to, for the music for the Tale Teller. Question of the day. This is an interesting one, because I've been instructed which question to take by my mother-in-law, who scours the comments of my vlog channel very defensively. And she has said to answer Alan Al Weber's question, who says, how did the idea of the Tale Teller come to you? And when I say defensively, that it's more in response to a reply to that comment by Ava Reed, who says, I think someone told him to do it, or at least someone gave him the idea. That is not true. The concept and the entirety of the Tale Teller is an original production from concept to completion by me and Jazza Studios, being me and whoever I subcontract, that particularly being Greg and the voice actor. So to give you a little further insight into this, I can actually go into the animatic and look at all of the original animatic files. But beyond that, and even earlier to that, the preliminary folder contains loads of stuff, including inspiration images, and in particular, the document in which I wrote the Tale Teller. Now, I won't linger on that, of course, because I don't want to give too much away, but this also includes the storyboards for the animation from the very beginning. So all of these were scanned and copied down and were the origins of the animation as it is. This also includes all of the original character concept pieces and the scene breakdowns where we figured out how many days it would take to do each shot of animation and environment art, and the pitch video that I put together for Google and Screen Australia to try and get funding to do this project, where I sort of gave a little bit of a sneak peek into the characters and the designs and what I was hoping to make. So this was sort of like a conceptual pitch and saying, hey guys, I really want to make something and I really need a little bit of financial help to do it, and I'm really hoping you guys will support me. And they did, as part of the Skip Ahead initiative with Google and Screen Australia. There's also original art here by Greg when he designed the town square aesthetic and sort of figured out how all of that would be put together. So I guess the reason I was forced to take this question is because my dear mother-in-law has seen from at the very beginning, over a year ago, how much work and time and effort has gone into this, and wanted me to answer that question in particular to clarify that this is all original. We haven't taken a script or a story or a poem or a art or anything from anywhere else. It's all in-house. I wrote it myself. I sat down in this office, put the lights out to set the mood, and sat down for a week full time to write it, and it took a lot of time and effort, and everything else, the music and the animation and the working with Greg to do the environment art, the scenes, compositions, blah 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 blah, is all original and a very small scale production in terms of the amount of people working on it, but a very big production in terms of how much passion and heart and effort we've put into it, and it is so exciting to see it come together, and I absolutely can't wait to share it with you guys in only 2.5 or 3 weeks. Very close. Anyways, that'll do for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.